You know, life has a funny way of testing your patience when you least expect it. Imagine this. You're standing at the gate, tired after a long day. Clutching your boarding pass for a first-class seat you worked hard to earn, and suddenly, someone storms up, points at you and shouts, "That's my seat. Move." That's exactly how my day began, with a woman who wasn't just entitled, but a full-blown HOA Karen. And believe me, she had no idea who she was messing with. The airport was buzzing. Families dragging suitcases, kids tugging on parents, business travelers buried in laptops. I had just finished a long training seminar in Dallas and was heading home to Denver. I'm a commercial airline pilot, Captain Daniel Morris. But today I wasn't flying. I was off duty, flying as a passenger, finally catching a break. I had a first-class ticket in hand and, honestly, I couldn't wait to sink into that seat, close my eyes, and forget the noise of the world for a few hours. The gate agent scanned my ticket, smiled and said, "Enjoy your flight, Captain." I nodded, grateful for the kindness. But right behind me, I heard the sharp click of heels and a voice that could slice glass. "Karen, excuse me? That's my seat." "You gave him my seat." The gate agent blinked in confusion. "Ma'am, can I see your boarding pass?" Karen huffed, pulling out her phone like it was a sword. "I paid for an upgrade. First class, 2A, and you just handed it to him." I turned, polite but firm. "Ma'am, 2A is my seat. Here's my ticket." She squinted at it, scoffed, and crossed her arms. "Well, that's ridiculous. I'm a homeowners association president. I don't sit in coach. You'll just have to move." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because I'd heard the same tone at HOA meetings back home. Neighbors fighting over mailbox colors and lawn. Heights, but this wasn't her cul-de-sac. This was an airport. The gate agent tried to stay calm. "Ma'am, your ticket shows you're in seat 1 for C, not 2A. Karen's face turned beet red. "That's a mistake. I'm not sitting in the back with the common people. Look at me. Do I look like I belong in coach?" I raised an eyebrow. "Do I look like I belong in coach?" Her jaw dropped. "You don't understand. I'm important. I run everything in my community. People respect me. He can sit in the back." For a moment, the whole boarding line went silent, passengers watching like it was theater. I could have argued, but years in the cockpit taught me patience. I just said, calm but firm, "Ma'am, with respect, the seat is mine." Karen wasn't done. "Oh no." She whipped around to the gate agent. "Call your manager. This man stole my upgrade. I demand he be removed." The agent's voice cracked slightly. "Ma'am, please lower your voice." Karen leaned closer, whisper shouting, "You don't know who I am. I will have you fired for this mistake. Do you hear me? Fired?" Passengers began murmuring. Some shook their heads. One older lady muttered, "Lord, save us from people like her." I sighed, took a deep breath, and decided to end it. I leaned toward the agent and said, "Ma'am, maybe it's best you make an announcement." Her brows furrowed, but then she caught the glint in my eye. She nodded slowly. The gate agent lifted the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Before we continue boarding, we need to clarify a situation regarding seat 2A. Karen smirked smugly, hands on her hips like she had already won. The agent continued, "Seat 2A is reserved for Captain Daniel Morris, the pilot of this airline." Karen's smirk collapsed. "What pilot?" "But he's not in uniform." I finally smiled. "That's because I'm off duty today. But ma'am, let me assure you I didn't steal your seat. I earned it. With 30 years in the sky, thousands of hours keeping passengers safe, that's why it's mine." The crowd erupted in chuckles, a few claps. Karen stammered, "Well, I didn't know." The gate agent added, sweet but sharp, "Escort the pilot to his seat." 2 attendants stepped forward, guiding me past Karen. As I walked by, I heard passengers whispering, "Good for him, an entitled woman." I settled into 2A, finally relaxing. But before takeoff, the twist came. Karen ended up right behind me in row 3, glaring holes into the back of my head. The entire flight, she sighed loudly, pushed her seat tray with force, complained to attendants. The coffee is cold. The Wi-Fi isn't working. That man stole my seat. At one point, a little boy across the aisle whispered to his mom, "Mom, is that lady always angry?" The mom chuckled, probably, and strangely. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt sad. Sad that someone could carry so much entitlement and bitterness, that even a comfortable flight turned into a battlefield. Halfway through the flight, turbulence hit. Nothing major, but strong enough that the plane jolted. Gasps filled the cabin. Attendants hurried to secure carts. I felt my instincts kick in, the kind you can't turn off after decades in the cockpit. I pressed the call button, leaned toward the flight attendant, and quietly said, "If the crew needs an extra hand, I'm here." She nodded, grateful. "Thank you, Captain," Karen overheard and gasped. "Why do you really are a pilot?" I turned, calmly. "Yes, and right now, my focus is on making sure everyone gets home safely. Even you." Her face softened, just for a flicker of a moment. She said nothing. The turbulence passed, and the flight smoothed out. Relief spread through the cabin. I leaned back, finally sipping my coffee. That's when Karen leaned forward slightly, her voice quieter, almost human. I shouldn't have yelled at you back there. I've been under a lot of stress. My husband left. My HOA is a mess, and I guess I just wanted to feel important somewhere." I studied her for a moment, then nodded. We all want to feel seen, but the way we treat people, that's what makes us important, not titles or seats. Her eyes watered slightly. She quickly turned away, embarrassed. When we landed, the passengers applauded, as they often do. As we stood to disembark, Karen lingered near me. She finally said, "Captain, thank you. Not just for flying, for reminding me of what matters." I smiled gently. "Safe travels, ma'am." She walked off, quieter than when she boarded. As I stepped into the terminal, I thought about that moment. How quickly pride and entitlement can blind us. How easily a seat on a plane became a symbol of something bigger, or a need for respect, our desire to matter. But here's the truth. Respect isn't demanded. It's earned. Not by shouting, not by waving titles, but by kindness, humility, and grace. And sometimes, it takes 30,000 feet in the air to remind us of that. And that's my story. If you've ever faced someone entitled, someone who thought the world owed them everything, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Maybe together, we can remind each other that respect and kindness always fly first class. This story is just the beginning. There is so much more ahead. Subscribe to the channel to join me on this journey.